Good evening, my children. Just now we made the chapter 3, part 1, case-based questions. Right now we will do the MCQs and the other questions. You see the first one here, MCQs and assertion and reason. We'll do it now. A student experiences a surge of excitement and focus before a challenging academic competition. They feel energized and believe this pressure will enhance their performance. It is eustress. So eustress is the optimum amount of stress which is needed to do the things in a better way. Some stress is needed for us in order to perform in a better way. That is called eustress. Now, the second one, you see, an individual with high psychological hardiness is confronted with a sudden unexpected job loss. Which set of characteristics are the most likely to exhibit? You see here. So I can say this one, if you observe, these options are given to you. Hardiness means what? With a control, commitment and challenge. So the one who is seeing it as a challenging opportunity for new growth, taking control of their job, you see, remaining committed to their cases, their career goals. I can say the C, option C is the right answer for this question. Let's make a move to the next one. The hardiness according to Kobasa, basically it is. So control, commitment and challenge. So next one, primary appraisal of Lazarus. According to Lazarus and Folkman, transactional model of stress and coping, what is the primary question an individual asked during the primary appraisal phase? Yes. What is the primary appraisal phase? A person asks a question, you see. This is C, option C. Is this the situation is in the primary appraisal is what? Perceiving as positive, as negative, as neutral. If you perceive in a positive, it's like a, see here, very clear it is. If you perceive it in a positive way, it's a challenge. If you perceive in a negative way, it's a threat. If you perceive in a neutral way, as usual, nothing. So this is a C, option C is the right answer. Next, fourth one. Again the fourth one. A person with high hardiness encounters a difficult professional project. How is the primary appraisal of this project likely to be influenced, potentially leading to eustress, you see. So here many concepts they combined. Very interesting question, but it is. So look into this area, how the person is going to be. So a person with hardiness, how he is going to appraise, you see. So the person basically will take how he is going to take the primary appraisal in a challenge way. If the person doesn't have the hardiness, he will take it in a negative way. So it is the option C. They will apprise it as a challenging opportunity. The most important point, you see. Fourth one also C. Option C is the right answer. Which of the following scenarios is least likely to induce eustress? Yes. Again, you see, training for a marathon to achieve a personal best, starting a new or challenging role at a company you admire, being unexpectedly fired from a job with no alternative employment prospects. See. Eustress, basically, which of the following scenario is least likely to induce eustress? Least likely. Least means when you lose the job, eustress won't be there. So you see, to learn a new complex skill, eustress will be there. Training for eustress will be there. Eustress is what? Actually the stress which is supportive to us to do the things in a better way. So losing a job is basically where eustress, it is distress. Assertiveness. So look into this, life skill basically it is. Assertiveness is communicating clearly, confidently, without any hesitation. That we call it as assertiveness. Now, you are in a team meeting and a colleague consistently interrupts you and speaks over your ideas. You feel your contributions are being undervalued. Which of the following is the most assertive response? Yes. Say, excuse me, I would like to finish my point clearly and calmly. Yes. Do not get angry. Don't be rude. Assertiveness, say, excuse me, let me complete my work first. So that's the best way actually. You have to respect the person and you have to control the person and you have to continue your work here, you see. That's the most important thing. The seventh one, improving relationships. How you are going to improve your relationships here, you see. During a disagreement with a team member, you realize you might have misunderstood their perspective. To improve the relationship and resolve the conflicts constructively, what is the most effective approach here? Always, you see, ask clarifying questions and genuinely listen to their explanation. Listening, sometimes not only the words, listen from your heart also sometimes. Listening not only just through your ears. even you need to listen from your heart, bottom of your heart, you see. So you have to ask, clarify the questions and listen to their explanation. This is the right answer, seventh one. Yes, a student receives a low grade on a major assignment. Instead of getting upset, they immediately schedule a meeting with the professor to understand their mistakes, review the course material, and create a plan for improvement. Which of the Endler-Parker coping strategy? 8C, task-oriented coping. You see here, you are making a plan, you are looking into your mistakes, your task-oriented coping. What exactly? Obtaining information about the stressful situation and planning, finding the alternative courses of action and evaluating those alternative courses of actions. That is basically task oriented coping strategy here, eighth one. Now the ninth one, emotion oriented coping. You see here, following a heated argument with a friend, an individual feels deeply hurt and angry. They spend the evening journaling about their feelings, listening to sad music, and talking to another friend about how upset they are without seeking to resolve the conflict directly with the friend they argued. Which of Endler and Parker's coping strategies is most evident in this situation, my children? Here, it is avoidance oriented. Why? They are not directly dealing with the person. They are not ready to solve the issue. You see here. So they are just avoiding and they are feeling the emotion. So here you need to focus here the main area. They are journaling their feelings. Okay, listening to sad music. Okay, emotions are there, but at the same time, and talking to another friend about how upset they are without seeking to resolve the conflict. So you are not ready to solve the issue. The main task here, you see, you are not ready to solve the issue. Then it is the avoidance oriented coping. Now the 10th number one. After a particularly stressful day at work, an employee goes home and immediately immerse themselves in a video game for several hours, deliberately trying not to think about the day's events. You see, this behavior aligns with which of Endler and Parker's coping strategy here? Endler and Parker's three coping strategies are there. This is the avoidance oriented coping. You're just getting yourself, you are getting distracted from your actual work here, you see. Avoidance oriented coping. Let's make a move to the assertion and reason questions, my children, here. Daily hassles, though seemingly minor, can contribute significantly to an individual's stress levels and overall well-being. 11th A, assertion is true. Reason. The cumulative effect of frequent and recurring minor stressors can deplete coping resources and lead to chronic stress. Yes, both are true and correct explanation, but it is. The 12th one, again, major life event, whether positive or negative, often requires significant psychological adjustment. Yes, whether it is a positive or negative, we need the adjustment, no doubt. Assertion is true. Reason. These events disrupt an individual's routine and established patterns of behavior, demanding new coping strategies. Yes, both are true and correct explanation. See, anything happens in our life, whether it's positive or negative, but we need to get adjust. We need to get adjust in our life. That's the most important. Both are true, correct explanation. Question number 13. Experiencing a traumatic event inevitably leads to the development of PTSD. Experiencing a traumatic event inevitably leads to the development of PTSD. No, false it is. Reason. PTSD is a complex anxiety disorder that only develops in an individual with a pre-existing psychological vulnerability. No. Both are false here. 13. Assertion and reason, both are false. Now 14th one. Individuals who you see, my children, 13th one, you need to be very careful. This is, you see here, they use the word inevitably leads to development of PTSD. No, it's not always. So look into this. 14th one, assertion. Individuals who experience a high number of daily hassles are more likely to report physical symptoms like headaches and fatigue. Yes, true. Reason. Chronic exposure to stressors, even minor ones, can activate the body's stress response system, leading to physiological strain. Both are true and it is the correct explanation. 15th one, you see here. The subjective appraisal of an event plays a crucial role. The subjective appraisal of an event plays a crucial role in determining its stressful impact. Reason. What one person perceives as a minor inconvenience, another might view as a major life crisis, affecting their coping response. Both are true and correct explanation. For example, something is minor for you but something for the other person that's a major, you see. So here it is actually subjective appraisals, you see, subjective we are talking. For example, getting low grades is minor thing for many children, but a child who is very sincere, who works very hard, for that child getting the low grades is not easy task. Part C, these are MCQs beta. Which coping strategy directly addresses the source of stress by taking action to change the situation? It is the, within the given options you see here, problem focused coping strategy. Second one, because directly dealing with the problem. A student feeling overwhelmed by a difficult assignment decides to break it down into smaller manageable tasks and create a study schedule. Yes, again it is problem focused coping. You are going to divide the task into meaningful chunks. Which of the following is a primary characteristic of emotion focused coping strategy? You see here it is, my children. So this is the, which of the following is a primary characteristic of emotion focus? Regulating emotional responses to the stressors, modifying the source of stress, seeking practical advice to resolve a conflict, developing a plan to eliminate the stressor. You see, emotion focused coping is regulating emotional responses to the stressors, my children. It is option A. Fourth one, when emotion focused coping most likely to be employed when the stressor is uncontrollable or perceived as such. Fourth one again option A. Fourth one you can see, when the stressor is uncontrollable or perceived as such. Which type of stress arises from from factors in an individual's surroundings such as noise, pollution, crowded living conditions, or extreme temperatures? You see here, physical stress, psychological stress, environmental stress, and social stress. Which type of stress arises from factors in an individual's surrounding? From the surrounding, it is the environmental stress beta. Prolonged lack of sleep, poor nutrition, prolonged lack of sleep and poor nutrition and intense physical exertion are example of stressors that fall under which category, my children? These are lack of nutrition. So this is basically physical stress, my children. This is physical stress. Seventh one, experiencing discrimination, dealing with strained relationships, or facing social isolations are common contributors to which type of stress beta? Seventh one is experiencing discrimination, dealing with strained relationships, or facing social isolations are common contributors to social stress. Now the eighth one, anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and chronic worrying are manifestations mostly directly associated with the which type of stress? You see, anxiety, depression, and chronic worrying. Basically, if you see here, these are all associated with the psychological stress, low self-esteem. All are psychological elements. Chronic worrying, manifestation. Ninth, a construction worker consistently exposed to loud machinery and vibrations over many years is most likely experiencing a significant amount of environmental stress beta due to noise, vibration. It is environmental stress. 10th one, a student feeling overwhelmed by academic pressure, fear of failure, and the constant need to meet high expectations is primarily dealing with psychological stress. Here the fear of failure, you see, psychological stress. 10 is option D. I hope it's all very clear to you. I'm sorry guys, today a little bit sickness is there, that's the reason. I hope everything is clear to you people, my children. So these are the answer key also there for you people. You can refer this paper. Thank you for watching.